honoured to have one of the decade's most iconic stars. Please welcome, apologies, Jack, Mr Blobby.
Oh.
Welcome to WatchMojoUK, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 times Mr Blobby infiltrated other shows.
Blobby!
I actually hate Mr. Blobby.
And it was all going so well.
Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.
For this list, we're looking at times Mr Blobby turned up where he didn't belong. Let us know in the comments what your favourite Mr Blobby moment is. Number 10. Keeping up appearances.
I said, I guess you won't know who I bumped into in the street.
Oh, Richard, I do wish you wouldn't speak to people without me.
Perhaps this is more of a case of Hyacinth Bouquet infiltrating Noel's house party than the other way round. Back when Mr Blobby debuted, he was chiefly used to harass other popular characters or celebrities of the day, including showing up in this sketch as a house guest of Hyacinth.
A famous actor visiting my home. I hope the neighbours are watching.
Blobby stormed into the Bouquet household after being invited in by Richard, creating havoc and threatening Hyacinth's fancy crockery.
And by the way, it's Bouquet. Hasn't he got a keeper or something?
He knocks over all the furniture and reveals how slapdash the Keeping Up Appearances set was when he's able to just push the kitchen island around like it's made of cardboard, which it probably was.
What's his name?
Number 9. Dick and Dom in the Bungalow. Anarchy incarnate, Dick and Dom was a natural fit for Mr Blobby to show up in, along with many other bizarre celebrity cameos.
You wanted Gavin Henson, Welsh rugby star, and Charlotte Church, international pop singer. We got you, Mr Blobby!
But he didn't appear until the very last Sunday morning episode of Dick and Dom in the Bungalow after those fun sponges at the BBC cancelled it. After having the kids guess who the celebrity guest might be, they drag Mr Blobby out of the lift with a sheet over his head.
Mr. Blobby came to fame in the 90s when he was a regular on Noel Edmonds' house party.
The kids are thrilled to see him, and it was interesting to see Dick and Dom outdone on the chaos for once. And while Mr Blobby is no Charlotte Church, he does treat everyone to a brief performance of his hit single.
Blobby, go play the keyboards.
Play it.
Oh, Blobby's off. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no.
Number 8. Top of the Pops. And on the topic of hit singles, Dick and Dom wasn't the only time Mr Blobby's musical talents had been demanded on television. In 1993, history was made with one of the most ludicrous novelty number ones ever produced in Britain, and that's really saying something.
And that means, of course, if Meatloaf has now been 7 weeks at number 1, now number 2, we have a new one. The UK's new number 1 is Mr Blobby.
Blobby defeated both Meatloaf and Take That, and as is customary, appeared on Top of the Pops in support of his record.
Number 1 in the UK, it is Mr Blobby. Congratulations. It's great news to have you at number 1. It could be there for Christmas.
He joined the host for the opening link before his music video was played. It looks like the Blob was too much of a coward to perform live, but they did let him close out the show. Jeremy Clarkson didn't turn up either, despite his starring role in the music video as Blobby's chauffeur.
Listen, thanks for watching Top of the Pops tonight. Congratulations to Mr Blobby making his debut on the show. He should present the next week's show.
Number 7. The Generation Game. For whatever reason, restaurant chain TGI Fridays was sponsoring the Generation Game at this time, which meant a group of bartenders was brought on to show off their flair skills. But who better to further demonstrate flair bartending than Mr Blobby?
Yes, anyone could do this.
Yes, of all the things to let him have a go at, they picked bartending, which requires a lot of finesse and uses only the most breakable objects. Blobby popped up and immediately started throwing all the drinks around the studio, including apparently throwing glass bottles into the audience, and then he made a thorough mess. But who doesn't want a cocktail made of liquor, whipped cream, cereal, and an umbrella? Number 6. Loose Women. More than once, Mr Blobby has turned up on Loose Women. He was first interviewed when Noel Edmonds went into the jungle on I'm a Celeb, asked his thoughts both about Edmonds and, of course, Brexit.
And then finally, Christine, who's being blindfolded?
Oh my God.
Okay, let's go and get your item.
But then the panel did a special 20th anniversary quiz in 2019, featuring many of the most popular panellists over the years. After Ruth Langsford asked her colleagues a series of questions, and the 12 of them managed to score about 1 point, Blobby was dragged out for the final round.
Oh, please tell me it's not Mr Blobby.
Blindfolded, they had to guess an object by feeling it, with the last one being the Blob himself. Remarkably, Carol got it in 1. Number 5. Dancing on ice. First flair bartending, now figure skating. Why do they put Blobby through this?
In fact, he's so famous that to introduce him, we only need a single word.
Blobby. Regardless, in early 2023, Blobby was brought on for Dancing on Ice's Icons Week, that series, and few could dispute that he is iconic. He came out to harass the judges panel, much to the disdain of Ashley Banjo, who apparently isn't his biggest fan. He even tried to take to the ice himself, despite not having the proper equipment and being warned not to by Holly.
Blobby! Blobby, mind the ice! No! Not Blobby!
Maybe Blobby should take over as Holly Willoughby's co-host for the next series, since he was so good at announcing the competition.
Blobby?
Yes, exactly like Mr Blobby said.
Number 4. The Last Leg.
Mr Blobby, you've spoken at length about proposals for a radical reworking of your fiscal policy following a departmental efficiency review, but we're yet to see said policy. Can you outline your plans?
There are lots of novelty political parties in the UK, most notable among them the monster raving loonies. But this sketch from an episode of The Last Leg focused on another party, the 90s party, celebrating everything that made Britain in the 90s so unique. And its leader was none other than Mr Blobby, a bigger 90s icon than even the Spice Girls.
You recently tweeted Blobby, 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 #Blobby. Do you stand by that?
He arrived at a press conference to answer a bevy of very serious questions about his policy white papers and campaign promises. In fairness, this joke is a little dark, considering that if Mr Blobby did launch a political career, he'd probably do shockingly well.
How would you deal with Putin?
Blobby, Blobby, Blobby.
Blobby.
Number 3. The Big Fat Quiz of the 90s. For Channel 4's 25th anniversary, the Big Fat Quiz was expanded to have 3 decade-centric specials, including this 90s edition.
I hated Mr Blobby when I was... he terrified me more than anything else. He looked like a fat, jaundiced baby.
And though Mr Blobby originated on the BBC, he can show up to terrorise whichever broadcaster wants him. He turned up to ask a question on this episode, and though most of the panel were pleased to see him, Jack Whitehall had already confessed to suffering from blobbyphobia.
Titanic.
Alright, yeah, poker face.
Whether the producers knew this already, or whether it was a coincidence and they were always going to have Mr Blobby on, isn't clear, but the scene went down in TV history. Number 2. Britain's Got Talent. The public were very shocked when, in 2023, Mr Blobby turned up to audition for Britain's Got Talent. Simon Cowell likes Blobby about as much as Jack Whitehall does, though Amanda Holden was loving every moment. Blobby announced that he was going to perform a magic trick, complete with a pack of giant novelty cards and a top hat to make the buzzer disappear. But it turned out that Blobby wasn't a skilled magician at all, with each trick failing, including his attempt to make Simon Cowell disappear. He did gunge him though, which is what we all wanted to see. It was sad Blobby didn't go through to the next round.
Oh no!
Number 1. Harry Hill's TV burp.
You!
While looking back over that week in British television, Harry Hill saw an opportunity in a scene from EastEnders where Dot Cotton's house is broken into. Dot's briefly terrorised by Mr Blobby, one of the most frightening home invaders imaginable, until Harry arrives to clobber him with a frying pan.
Leave it!
A running joke about the Albert Square's resident hardman Phil Mitchell also breaking into houses gave us that week's fight, Phil versus Mr Blobby.
But which is better at crashing through doors, Phil or Mr Blobby?
As always, the ad break starts before we find out which of them is really the best fighter, though maybe Harry and his trusty frying pan were the true victors.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojoUK and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.